Welcome to my CBSE English teacher. Let's look at the line by line explanation of the next part of the chapter, The Enemy from Class 12 English. If you're watching my video for the first time, please subscribe. You can listen to the explanations of chapters from classes 10, 11 and 12 English. And don't forget to press the bell icon so that you get notified whenever I upload a video. Let's move on to the video now. So we saw that Hannah was not ready to give up her pride as a mistress when she knew that the servants had left. Instead, she inclined her head gracefully when they appeared before her in the kitchen, and she paid them off and thanked them for all that they had done for her. So when she knew that they were all ready to go, she did not want to leave her pride. So she readily accepted, and she also behaved very gracefully in front of them and thanked them, and she paid them and allowed them to go. They were crying, but she did not cry. So, as a mistress, she kept on her pride and she did not cry, but the servants were crying when they left the house. The cook and the gardener had served Sadao since he was a little boy in his father's house, and Yumi cried because of the children. So this gardener and the cook were there for a very long time. So they were working even for Sadao's father. So they knew this boy, they knew Dr. Sadao as when he was a little boy itself. So it was quite a long time. So they felt very sad to leave the house. And Yumi was crying because she was taking care of the children and she did not want to leave the children and go. She was so grieving that after she had gone, she ran back to Hannah. So this Yumi, who was taking care of the child, she was so sad. And then after she leaving, once again she ran back to Hannah. And she said, what did she say? If the baby misses me too much tonight, send for me. That means she told Hannah that if the baby is crying and they want to have me back, just call me, I will come back any time of night itself. I am going to my house and you know where it is. So she also told Hannah that you know where my house is, so I'm going back to my house. So whenever the baby needs me, please call me. Thank you, Hannah said, smiling. So she thanked her. But she told herself that she would not send for Yumi, however the baby cried. But Hannah, we know that she was quite a proud mistress, and she did not want to call back Yumi. So she also decided that she will not call back Yumi even if the baby cried. She made the breakfast and Sadao helped with the children. So she had to work, Hannah had to make the breakfast, and her husband Sadao helped by taking care of the children. Neither of them spoke of the servants beyond the fact that they were gone. So both the husband and wife did not discuss anything about the servants because they already know that they did not want to serve the house because there was an enemy. So beyond the fact that they had gone, they did not say anything else. But after Hannah had taken the morning food to the prisoner, she came back to Sadao. Why is it we cannot see clearly what we ought to do? So what Hannah did, she served the prisoner, gave him his food, and then she had this thought in her mind. So she came back and asked her husband, why is it that we are not able to see what is right and what is wrong? She asked him. Even the servants see more clearly than we do. So she was worried because she's saying that the servants are very clear about what they had to do. They just left the job and went because they know that they had to serve a prisoner. But why are we different from other Japanese? Sadao did not answer. So she was asking her husband that why are we behaving in a very different manner? So what manner did they behave? What did they do? They were taking care of this prisoner whom they are not supposed to take care of. But being a doctor, Sadao had no other choice. He had to save the life of a prisoner. So they were actually in a dilemma. So that is why Hannah was asking, why are we very different from the other Japanese? And Sadao did not answer. But a little later, he went into the room where the prisoner was and said brusquely. So Sadao went to meet the prisoner who was injured and who had been operated upon. And so he went and met him. And he said brusquely. Brusquely means abruptly. Today you may get up on your feet. I want you to stay up only 5 minutes at a time. So he told him that he can stand up and he should stand up at least for 5 minutes at a time. Tomorrow you may try twice as long. And he said that the next day the prisoner must try to stand up at least twice, and that too 5 minutes each. It would be well that you get back to your strength as quickly as possible. So the doctor was telling the prisoner that he should get well soon. He saw the flicker of terror on the young face that was still very pale. So, as he was telling the prisoner that he has to get well soon, he saw a change of expression on the prisoner's face. There was a fear. He was frightened about something the moment the doctor told him that he has to get well soon. Maybe he thought that the moment he gets well, he would be handed over to the police or something. So that's why the moment he said that, he became frightened. Okay, the boy murmured. So the boy here is the prisoner. He said, okay. Evidently, he was determined to say more. Actually, he wanted to talk something else. But then, I feel I ought to thank you, doctor, for having saved my life. And he said, I should really thank you because you saved my life. Don't thank me too early, Sadao said coldly. But Sadao was not moved by this thanksgiving of this boy, and he said very coldly, without any emotion, he said, don't thank me so early. He saw the flicker of terror again in the boy's eyes. So again when he told this, the boy became frightened once again. Terror and unmistakable as an animal. So you could see the terror like you see on the animal's face when it sees its enemy or something. So the scars on his neck were crimson for a moment, and the scars that were there on his neck were crimson red in color at that time. So the boy was as frightened as an animal, and the scars on his body had still not healed. Those scars, what were they? Sadao did not ask. So Sadao saw that the scars were still red in color. He wanted to know, but then he did not bother to ask how those scars appeared. In the afternoon, the second thing happened. Hannah, working hard on an unaccustomed labor, saw a messenger come to the door in an official uniform. So, unaccustomed labor means she was not used to do so much of work, but then because the servants were not there, she had to do a lot of work at home. So, the first thing that happened was the servants left, and the second thing was, as she was doing some work, there came a messenger came there, and he was in official uniform. Her hands went weak and she could not draw her breath. So the moment she saw this messenger, she became weak and she could not breathe. That means she became frightened because he was in official uniform. The servants must have told already. So she just suddenly thought that the servants must have informed the police about the prisoner, and that's why this person, messenger in official uniform, could be from the police as well. So she thought that it was because of the information. She ran to Sadao, gasping, unable to utter a word. So she became frightened the moment she saw the messenger, and then she ran to her husband, and she was not able to speak a word because of the fear. By then the messenger had simply followed her through the garden, and there he stood. So as Hannah went to her husband, the messenger also followed her and came to that point. She pointed at him helplessly. So she showed the messenger her husband. Sadao looked up from his book. So the doctor was reading, and so when he saw the messenger, he looked up. He was in his office, the other partition of which was thrown open to the garden for the southern sunshine. So his office, he was sitting and reading a book, and one part of it was open for the sunlight to enter. What is it? He asked the messenger, and then he rose, seeing the man's uniform. So he was also startled. So he asked the man, what is it? Why did you come here? And he stood up. You are to come to the palace, the man said. So the messenger gave him the message. So what did he say? You should come to the palace. That's what the messenger said. The old general is in pain again. Oh, Hannah breathed. Is that all? So what did the messenger say? He said that Sadao has to come to the palace because the old general was in pain. He had some ailment. So remember why Sadao had not been sent with the troops, because he had to take care of this general. So now this general has some pain again, and that is why they wanted him back in the palace. So as soon as this message was heard, what did Hannah say? Oh, she breathed. Is that all? So she said she felt quite happy, and she understood that it was nothing about the prisoner, and she breathed and she said, is that all? That means, oh, is this the only message that you have come to deliver? All, the messenger explained. Is it not enough? So immediately the messenger asked, don't you think this is enough? See, the old general is in pain. So she replied, I am very sorry. So she said sorry to him. When Sadao came to say goodbye, she was in the kitchen but doing nothing. So he was ready to go to the palace to see the old general, and she was in the kitchen at that time. The children were asleep, and she sat merely resting for a moment and more exhausted from a fright than from her work. So she was just sitting and she was feeling a little bit of peace because she thought that it was from the police, but then knowing that he was not from the police, she felt a bit relaxed. I thought they had come to arrest you, she said. So she was feeling happy that it was not for that, and she told him that I thought they had come to, or the man had come to arrest you. So he gazed down into her anxious eyes. I must get rid of this man for your sake, he said in distress. So he was really worried, and he looked at his wife. She was also deeply worried. And so he told her that I must get rid of this man. This man here is the prisoner, at least for your sake, because then only you will be at peace. And so he decided somehow I must get rid of him. Okay, so he decided to get rid of the prisoner. Sadao goes to see the general. So he goes to meet the general because he was called for. Of course, the general said weakly, I understand fully. So he goes to meet the general and he tells him the whole story about how he found the prisoner and how they had to take him home and operate on him and remove the bullet and how he was recovering. Everything Sadao told the general. I understand fully, but that is because I once took a degree in Princeton. So few Japanese have. So he's saying that, yeah, I had to go to Princeton and I had to learn from there. I took a degree from Princeton. And some Japanese people have also gone there and learned. I care nothing for the man, Excellency. And he also told the general that he really does not care anything about the prisoner. Sadao said, but having operated on him with success, but again, Sadao wanted to tell the general that he had operated on the prisoner and then he had saved his life as well. So he was not sure what he had to do. Yes, yes, the general said. So the general agreed that he was able to save the life. It only makes me feel you more indispensable to me. So the general told him that it makes me feel that you are very important to me. You are unavoidable to me because you are somebody who can save anybody's life. Evidently, you can save anyone. You are so skilled. So he was very impressed with the doctor because he believed only Dr. Sadao and he knows his capabilities. So that's why he said, I know that you can save anybody. You are so skilled. That's why I don't want you to leave my side. You say you think I can stand one more such attack as I've had today. So he says that I cannot stand one more heart attack like I had today's. Not more than one, Sadao said. So he also said, yes, you cannot survive one more attack. Then certainly I can allow nothing to happen to you, the general said with anxiety. So the general said that I cannot allow anything to happen to you. No danger is going to come to you because I need you always by my side because you are the only doctor who can take care of him. So the general assured Sadao safety because he always wanted Sadao at his side to take care of him. His long, pale Japanese face became expressionless. So the general was having some deep thought. There was no expression on his face. Okay. So which meant that he was in a deep thought. You cannot be arrested, the general said, closing his eyes. So he was thinking about something and in his mind and loudly he said, what did he say? You cannot be arrested. So he did not want Sadao to be arrested. Suppose you were condemned to death. So he's saying that suppose you get a punishment, suppose you are going to be hanged for the thing that you did for harnessing this prisoner, and then the next day I have my operation. So what will happen if I need to have my operation the next day and the previous day you're given some punishment. So here the doctor was being more selfish. He was only thinking about himself. And so that is why he always wanted the assistance of Dr. Sadao. So that is the reason why he said that I don't want you to be arrested. There are other surgeons, Excellency, Sadao suggested. So immediately Dr. Sadao said, see, if I am not there, there are other surgeons. None I trust, the general replied. So immediately the general replied, what did he say? I don't trust any other doctor. I trust only you. I want only you by my side. So that is why I will not allow you to be arrested. The general laughed. He had an unusual sense of humor. So he was quite a humorous guy, this general. As a Japanese, could you not combine these two foreign elements? So he was asking Dr. Sadao to combine two foreign elements, that of ruthlessness and sentimentality. So why is he asking him to do this? Because he wanted him to be more ruthless towards the soldier, and if he had been so, he could have easily handed over the man to the police. So that is why he was asking him to combine ruthlessness and sentimentality. Sadao smiled. I'm not sure, I'm not quite sure, he said. But for your sake, I'll be willing to try, Excellency. So he told the general that he would try to do what he said. The general shook his head. I had rather not be the test case, he said. So he's saying, so you don't test those things on me now. He felt suddenly weak and overwhelmed with the cares of his life as an official in times such as these, when repeated victory brought great responsibilities all over the South Pacific. So Dr. Sadao was feeling quite weak as well as overwhelmed, because every time he was given some duty, he was always victorious, and that brought in more responsibilities. It is very unfortunate that this man should have washed up on your doorstep, he said irritably. So the general told him that I feel very sad because it is unfortunate that this man had come to your doorstep. I feel it so myself, Sadao said gently. It would be best if he could be quietly killed, the general said. So Sadao also said that he was also feeling bad because he was able to save the soldier, and immediately the general said that it would be better if we could kill him very silently without anybody's knowledge. We have to kill the prisoner. Not by you, but by someone who does not know him. So this general gave him an idea. What was that? To kill the soldier silently, to kill the prisoner very silently. And he also told him that you need not kill him. Somebody who does not know will kill him. I have my own private assassins. So the general told him that he had his own private assassins. Who are private assassins? People who are assigned to kill people. So suppose I send two of them to your house tonight, or better, any night. So he's saying that it is better I will send two of these assassins to your house, maybe tonight or maybe any other night. You need not know nothing about it. So it is now warm. What would be more natural than that you should leave the outer partition of the white man's room open to the garden while he sleeps? So the general gives him an idea and tells him that he would send two of his assassins to his home during the night, and only that he has to leave the door of the white man's room open when he is asleep, so that they can go inside and kill him silently. Certainly, it would be very natural, Sadao agreed. So, Sadao also became happy and he agreed that, oh, it would look very natural. In fact, it is so left open every night. And he said that every night I leave the door open. Good, the general said, yawning. So, the general was happy with the plan. They are very capable assassins. They make no noise and they know the trick of inward bleeding. So he was explaining to Sadao how the assassins kill. They said that they will not be making any noise and they know how to kill a person by making them bleed from within the body. If you like, I can even have them remove the body. So the general also told Sadao that he can ask the assassins to remove the body as well. Sadao considered. That perhaps would be best, Excellency, he agreed, thinking of Hannah. So Sadao became very happy and he said that is a very good idea because he thought that Hannah would also be relieved and she would also feel at ease when the prisoner itself is not there at home or after his death. I hope you liked today's video. Let's look at the next part of this lesson in my next video. For more informative videos, do subscribe to my CBSE English teacher. Like, share and give your valuable comments below. Thank you for watching.